Hello everyone, welcome back to FX Capital Analysis and Forecasting. We approaching another week, which is week 14 of 2021. We're going to approach this week with 8 top pair and 3 wildcard. Hopefully you guys already done your forecasting for this week and ready for execution for the following week. So we're going to have a very slow week for this week because of the Easter and bank holiday and everything. So the market will be slow on Monday and we're going to active again on Tuesday. So there will be a big gap when the market opens. So hopefully you guys take note about that. And we're going to forecast our week with first pair, which is Aussie dollar Swiss franc. Aussie dollar Swiss franc, we understand there's a 2 point the red line from here at the top and at the bottom. So at the end of this top, we have a correction from here. We understand after correction, there will be impulse move to the upside. However, this is the key area that we need to take care of, that we forecast the price going to continue with the structure. However, there's a possibility and probability for this pair, and this is high probability trade because this is the top from 2019 April. If price approaching this area again, I'm happy to sell this setup. And we move to lower time frame. Lower time frame, we can say price at the peak of the correction. Price keep a corrective in this area. However, we just let the price develop, move to this area and sell to the downside. So there will be the setup for this pair, which is I will set my entry order below the structure and stop loss above the red line, which is the blue line, and ready to sell, move to the downside. So there will be a setup, which is the setup. I forecast the setup almost 2 or 3 weeks, but the price keep corrective. However, if the price approaching the area, I happy to sell this setup. Next, we move to Aussie New Zealand dollar. Aussie New Zealand dollar, if we see on high time frame from daily time frame, you can say there's a multi-touch from big corrective. You see, this is first point, second point, and third point. So when we trade the price action structure, regardless the news out there, we always follow the structure and we approaching this area. And if we approaching this area, I'm happy to sell this setup, move to the downside. Firstly, we need to see the price from the lower time frame. On the lower time frame, for the moment, we see the price probably approach this area again. If you're happy to buy the setup, move to the outside, it's good, but something that I know looking for, I always move to high probability area, which I just let the price develop again and move to this area and happy sell through downside as a sell setup. Similar setup as an entry order, which is order will be below the structure, stop loss will be above the structure, and ready to sell, move to downside. Next, we move to our third pair, which is Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, we can say on high time frame, we have a very clear area from this area. First, from this high and this high, we approaching this first high. So we looking price to sell this from this area. So what we're looking for is small structure develop from here, move to the upside, either as a ascending channel or rising wedge. We see and let the price to develop. In 1 hour time frame, for the moment, price still under development. We just let price develop first, and we see how long price going to move to the outside. If we count how many pips move to the outside from this area, is only 114 pips. So probably next week, end of next week, and ready to sell, move to the downside. There will be the setup move to the downside for Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. Next, we move to AUD. Sorry, it's Euro, Australian dollar. Euro, Australian dollar at high time frame. You can see price approaching this descending channel and create a structure at the end of the structure, which is from the high time frame. We see first touch, second touch, and third touch on this area. So we expect price to move to the outside in this moment. So how are we going to sell? How are you going to buy this setup? So normally we focus on the lower time frame. We follow the structure from the high time frame, and we go to set the entry for the lower time frame. So there will be top-down analysis from this moment. And for this area, I'm happy to buy the setup from this area. If I touch this area, I'm happy move to the upside. However, there's a possibility price approaching this area again. One touch, second touch, and third touch, and move to the upside. So there will be possibility and probability for this pair. Either one of the setup, I'm happy to take. So next we move to USD CHF. USD CHF at high time frame. And say price now at beginning of structure. So this is high time frame. This trend line is coming from high time frame. So this will be one setup. Sorry, second touch, third touch, and we approach this fourth touch. So we for this pair, I consider this is high probability area because this trend line I draw from the high time frame. Price have the high probability to pull back from this trend line. So hopefully be ready to execute when the price approaching that area. So in 1 hour time frame, we let the price develop, move to the upside. If price have approaching to the upside as a rising wedge, I'm happy to sell this setup from here and move to the downside. So the price still under development. We just need to patiently wait for the movement and let the price develop before we execute. So there will be the setup for high probability area. Next we move to valid position. Valid position first is gold position. We understand gold now at the middle of structure from the high time frame. This is the small descending channel. Descending channel that we expect price move to the upside. However, for last week, we have the opportunity to buy this setup from double top. If you guys still in this position, you guys will be moved directly to the outside. It's a quite clean, impulsive move to this area. So we just need to wait for any flag from here or any correction from here. We might have a big correction from here because price trade from the impulse. If we move to 4 hour, we can say this is one clean straight impulse move to the outside. So for the moment, I just wait any correction from here and let the price move to the outside. But my main priority for this pair is to let the price move to this area again and sell the setup move to the downside. So while with the price movement to the upside, if able to capitalize all this movement is good. So we just let the price develop and we trade based on the price action based on the structure. Okay, that's all for gold. Gold quite a clean structure for the past few months. So next we move to AUD Canadian dollar. AUD Canadian dollar, we can say this is 4 hour time frame. We can see this is one clean structure of descending channel, price approaching this area. For this valid position, I will take the opportunity to sell the setup from this area. If price approaching this multi-touch area again, I'm happy to sell the setup, move through downside and capitalize the price movement and bank the profit from here. Next, we move to Euro Japanese yen. Euro Japanese yen quite a long time this pair not in our list. So we see in 4 hour time frame or we move to daily time frame to see the clear picture. This price trap in one ascending channel approaching this double top from this area and happy to sell the setup from this double top. Why this is valid trade? If you see in weekly time frame, you can see this position in the middle of the structure. Clearly, we are at the middle of structure, so this is considered valid trade. Price action still valid in the middle of structure, but we focus more in high probability area. Valid position, something that we take the position as well, but we need to manage the position very aggressively because price at the middle of structure. So for this moment, you can see price approaching, create a ascending channel from here. I'm happy to sell this position, move to the downside from this moment. Okay guys, that's all for this week for top pair. Next we move to our wildcard. Wildcard price still under development. We see in high time frame for EuroCAD. We at the second touch is price approaching from this third touch. I'm happy to buy from this position. Why this in why this pair in our wildcard? Because movement to downside is about 200 pip. It's quite a time to develop for structure move 200 pips. So we just let the price movement to develop first. Next is Euro USD. Euro USD, you can see price now in high probability, sorry, in high time frame. Weekly, you can see price now at the middle of structure. We let the price to develop from this high and low, resistance and support. In 1 hour time frame, we let the price develop again from this area. If price develop descending channel from here, we just let the price to approaching this area as a descending channel and happy to buy the setup from this red line, which is support by double bottom from this area. So hopefully you guys understand the price movement, where we sell and where we buy. From the my perspective, you need to understand the important point for the buy and sell setup. The area that you need to understand, which is valid and high probability, this is something that you really need to have skill to develop. Next, we move to GBP Canadian dollar. GBP Canadian dollar, we can see price now still under development. This is one big structure. I'm happy to sell the setup from this double top and move to the downside. This will be one setup, and I'm happy to buy again if price approaching this area from this multi-touch. Move to the upside. It will be second setup, and if price approaching a third touch from here, I'm happy to sell this setup again. So we got a multiple position from here, but we understand the movement move to downside is about 400 pip, movement to the upside from double top 600 pip, and move to the upside is 1000 pip. Quite a long time to develop, but we keep our eye and keep the track for this pair. Okay guys, that's all for this week. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube and our Instagram. Hopefully you guys take note. Every week that we forecast is something that we forecast for long term. So our mind or subconsciously we register all the structure and let the price develop. And the moment price approaching the point that we forecast, we going to execute without the hesitation. Okay guys, thank you and goodbye.